It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, two outstanding middle schools here to play our game. Play along with them and see if you can keep up. Let's meet the teams right now. First from Ernest Just Middle School, would you please say hello to Annie Zhang, Samuel Harrison, and Micah Duckett. And from Nicholas Orem Middle School, our players are Paul Oriala, Yukari Perkins, and Eduardo Carreras. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones are worth 15, 20, and alternately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. Into the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play our game again against Kenmore and perhaps become the 3rd of the 4 semifinalists in this year's middle school competition. Let's make sure everything's working properly. Let's go to the red team. Samuel, would you try that buzzer for me? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you, to Micah, and to Annie. And Yukari, would you try yours as well? Green team seems to be in good shape, too. Good luck to you, to Eduardo, and to Paul. Are we ready, teams? Yeah. All right. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically, E before N. So Ernest, Justin, Samuel, let's play the bowl.
Science Potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points to start our game. Doctors say drink lots of green tea, eat lots of dark chocolate, because you've got a lot of free radicals in your body that are no good. And all of these foods contain lots of anti-whats? Nicholas Orem.
Oxidants.
Oxidants, antioxidants, absolutely right. I could hear Eduardo whispering that all the way over here. Nice job, young man. You're on the board first. Go, Yukari.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, plastic surgeons in China are making people 3 inches taller by putting 3-inch inserts into these T-initialed shin bones. Samuel.
The tibula.
Say it again, please.
Tibula.
Yes, the judges will give that to you. Tibia is the correct answer. Go, red.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, there are cows and then there are sea cows. One lives in the sea, one lives on land. Both are herbivores, but sea cows are different from land cows in being non-ruminants, meaning a sea cow doesn't do what? It doesn't chew a cud. It doesn't chew its cud. Remember, it swallows and regurgitates, swallows and regurgitates. That's the definition of a ruminant. Try again, red.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, Neptunium and plutonium are formed by bombarding uranium-238 with these subatomic particles, one of which has the first name of Jimmy.
Neutron.
Ernest Just.
Neutron.
Neutron, that's right. You bombard uranium with neutrons to get neptunium and plutonium. Go red.
Dateline Science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, today we depend on GPS to get everywhere. But back in the 11th century, we can thank the Chinese for inventing these that used magnetized ore. Nicholas Orem. A compass is absolutely right. That's what I want to hear. Eduardo weighs in again. Thank you, young man. Go green.
Science Potpourri for 5.
Science Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, a new planet has been discovered circling Alpha Centauri B, which is a real star. It is probably, this new planet, not like what fictional planet from the movie Avatar that had blue-skinned cat people and a mineral called unobtainium. What was the name of that planet? Samuel?
Pandora.
It is Pandora. Absolutely right. Thank you, Micah, for weighing in there as well. Go Just. 75 all. Tie score.
Dateline Science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, Hippocrates is the new app named after Hippocrates, the ancient Greek whose oath, first do no harm, is taken by all members of what profession? Ernest Just.
Science.
Not science. What profession takes the oath, first do no harm? The Hippocratic Oath. Doctors. All doctors take that oath. All right, let's try again. Red.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, the meteor showers, be they the Leonids or the Perseids, are actually the result of debris from these tailed heavenly bodies that visit us only occasionally, Ernest Just.
Comets.
Comets is right, yes. Cometary debris. Go, Red.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. In the old creepy television show, The Addams Family, Thing was all digits because it was really just a disembodied what? Ernest Just.
Hand.
A hand, that's right. Thing was a hand. Go, Red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, even though they are technically stems, potatoes and parsnips and radishes are often referred to as these kinds of vegetables. Ernest Just.
Starches.
Not starches, nope. Nicholas Orem, even though they are technically stems, those vegetables, potatoes and parsnips and radishes, are known as these kinds of vegetables. Root vegetables. Root vegetables. Go Red. Still with a 20-point lead, Samuel.
Zuperate for 5.
Zuperate for 5 points. Holy hibernaculum! Out in Tennessee, they're building an artificial one of these for these mammals that are dying off from white nose disease. Ernest Just?
Bat.
A bat, yeah. They're building an artificial bat cave in Tennessee. Let's hope the bats take the invitation. It's a very nice place. Rent's good. Okay, we come to the end of the first round. Ernest Just 100, Nicholas Orem 75. Good game. We'll be back with part 2 in just a moment. Don't go away.
Diet and exercise are never easy. Then again, neither is dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Most of these deaths could be prevented. Please, talk to your doctor about your risk for diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving.
I always thought being a good mother meant raising my baby myself. But when I got pregnant, I realized I wasn't ready to be a parent. So I did something I thought I could never do. I chose adoption. It was really hard, but I know my baby is with a loving family and has a very bright future.
Sometimes choosing adoption is being a good mother. Visit us at ichooseadoption.org.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Nice to have you here today. 2 great middle schools playing our game in this, our 27th year of competition. Let's go over and find out about the star students and Ernest Just. Samuel, tell us first of all about Ernest Just. It's right off of Route 202, relatively new school.
Yeah.
And who's your principal?
Mr. Moore.
All right, out there rooting for you. And the sponsor of your team is?
Miss Nelson.
And Miss Nelson not only is the sponsor of the team, she has helped us judge many times. We appreciate all that she does. She's a great asset to Ernest just into the school system, and I know you agree with me. She's so into Science Bowl, and I know how much she worked with you. Tell me, were there any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have Charles Thompson and Justin Montgomery.
Wonderful. We'll bring them out in a few moments with Miss Nelson so all of you can meet them. And Samuel, tell me about Ernest Just. What makes it a really great place to go to school?
Well, recently we have gotten more into our STEM program, and we have AVID activities and PBIS activities, and it's more fun, and we get to do different things, so yeah.
Absolutely. And STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math.
Yeah.
And that's classes that directed toward that. And what is PBIS?
Positive behavior.
These acronyms are tough, but it's all about positive behavior,
yeah.
and you get good feedback from that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it keeps the peace in the school. You're a great student, Samuel, and it's nice to have you back again, and you've got great poise. You're welcome. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be an architect and a lawyer.
Yeah, we were talking about famous buildings, because you'd like to design buildings, and you like the Sydney Opera House, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, with those sails there. I mean, it's just beautiful. We're going to look for something like that from you someday, all right? Keep up your good work. Micah, nice to have you with us again. You've been here before. Why did you want to be on Science Bowl?
I wanted to be on Science Bowl because I thought it would be a fun experience and I'd learn something new.
And we are learning from you as well, and I hope you're having a good time here. We certainly enjoy having you on the program. And what do you see in the crystal ball for yourself as a profession?
I decided that I wanted to be a psychologist or a teacher when I grow up.
Yeah, and we were talking about that earlier, that you're really fascinated by the human mind and human behavior. And certainly psychologists have a great role to play in modern life. What do you do in your spare time?
I usually read or watch TV.
Watch TV. And I asked him what his favorite television show was, and he agreed Science Bowl's pretty good, but he didn't have any other real favorite shows. We're going to forgive him that. Micah, nice to have you back. Andy, nice to have you here. First time. What grade are you in?
I'm 7th.
You're in 7th grade. And why'd you want to be here?
It sounds interesting.
Sounds interesting. Are you having a good time so far?
Well, I have an okay time.
All right. Well, you've got a couple more minutes to endure here. I know this is not easy the first time. Tell me about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to read and draw.
Read and draw. What kind of books you like?
I like the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, we talked about that. Have you seen the movies as well?
No.
No, because sometimes people like to compare which is better. And I've yet to see a movie that beats the book. So you're probably just fine where you are. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a teacher.
Teacher. Very good. You told me you want to teach middle or high school, correct? Science or math?
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. Nicholas Orem, nice to have you guys here today. You have yet to win a county championship. Ernest Just in the same boat. This might be your year. Let's hope so. Yukari, tell us about Nicholas Orem. Who's your principal?
Miss Merrifield.
All right. And I know she is supporting of your team here. And the sponsor of your team?
Miss Pagaregan.
Absolutely. And she's relatively new to the sponsorship game, and I know she's worked very hard to get you ready for today. And thank you so much for what you've done. And did you have any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have Emily, Michaela, Carlos, Abigail.
Wow, a shadow team +1 out there in the wings. They're sitting in the green room telepathically sending you answers, I'm sure, here. Tell us how you got to be the captain.
Well, during practice, I took a lot of initiative, so I guess she felt that I'd be the best person.
Absolutely. Having someone with gumption and someone who can be a quick decider, and you're doing a nice job of that here today. Tell us about Nicholas Orem. I was asking Samuel about what are some of the things that are really special about your school?
Well, we have teachers who are very devoted to helping you reach your goal, so I think that's real special.
That's very special, because without them there as those advocates for you, it's really not a good school. You've got to have somebody with your best interests at heart all the time. It sounds like that's happening over there. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a veterinarian.
Yeah, and you've got a new puppy at home, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, a Pomeranian. What's the Pomeranian's name?
Prince.
Prince, and you have a fish too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're getting practice right now, huh?
Yeah.
Being a vet. You're doing a nice job today, Yukari. Eduardo, you've been feeding answers left and right here. How do you know so much about science?
A lot of reading, watching TV.
And that shows. And you're obviously a good student. You want to be an orthopedic surgeon someday.
Yes.
Because you've had some experience. You had a broken leg, and you got to see kind of what orthopedists do. What do you do in your spare time?
I read, listen to music, and cook.
And you cook, yeah. You told me you like to make desserts.
Yes.
Make chocolate chip cookies?
Yes.
Yeah. Bring any today?
No.
No. We won't hold that against you. Keep up your good playing. Paul, nice to have you here. This is a family tradition for you because your brother David was on the show once, right? It's nice to have you here today. And what grade are you in, Paul?
Sixth.
Sixth grade. And you like 3 sports: basketball,
Soccer, and football.
and football. Wow. You look athletic over there. And do you see yourself being a professional athlete someday?
No, I want to be one do for my passion.
Yeah, that's right. You want to be a cardiac surgeon, don't you? Yeah. Because you were interested in the heart and what it really looked like. Have you ever seen that on TV, like open heart surgery? Yeah, it's very interesting what a real heart does look like. Well, you're obviously a good student, or they wouldn't have picked you to be here today, Paul. So keep up your nice work. And let's get back to our game. Close game. Just 100. Nicholas Orem, 75. Last correct answer came to the red team. So Samuel, lots of points to give away. Start us out.
Body systems for 10.
Body system for 10. I think that one's been taken. Go ahead. 15. For 15 points. Seems some scientists, this is remarkable, have come up with a powered exo version of this body system so that paraplegics can now have like a shell that will help them to move where before they could not. They have invented a new exo what? Nicholas Orem.
Skeleton.
Skeleton, absolutely right. It's like turning a human being into an insect with a huge carapace on the outside to provide support. Just a stroke of genius. Go. Nice answer, almost tie score, 90-100.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, NASA's Magellan spacecraft had to use radar to map the surface of this nearby planet because it is perpetually shrouded in clouds. Ernest, just.
Venus.
Venus is absolutely right. Good answer. Go. Red.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, it's a visual question. Look at the monitor if you would, please. And I don't mean to scare you, but this man is turning into a cockroach, and he's not too happy about it. This is from a story by an author called Franz Kafka, and the title of his story is the same as the name of the process whereby an insect goes from an egg to an adult. Ernest, just.
I'm going to pass it to Micah.
Micah.
Metamorphosis.
It is metamorphosis. Absolutely right. You got yourself 20 points. Metamorphosis. But, you know, changing from a human into an insect, I don't think we want that to happen. Okay, go red.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri, 10 points. Question is as follows. The suffixes in these words, streptococcus, staphylococcus, and lactobacillus, tell you the shape of what organisms? Those are all bacteria. Cocci are round-shaped, bacilli are rod-shaped. Go again, red.
Let's get physical for 10.
Get physical for 10. Excuse me, 5 points. Teams, if the new hit single, Call Me Maybe, sells over 1 million copies, it will not be a gold record. It will be one of these records, Samuel.
Platinum.
Platinum, absolutely. You didn't even need the PT symbol on the periodic table. Go red.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, sometimes when you come on Science Bowl, you're so nervous, you shake like one of these green things that we're tired of raking. Ernest, just.
Leaves.
A leaf, that's right. You shake like a leaf. Go red.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points. Big one in that category. Teams, listen carefully. Score 150, just 90 for Nicholas Orem. Get this one, Orem, and you're right back in the game. This is Science Potpourri for 25 points. Teams, the ancient astronomer Ptolemy, his idea about the universe was exactly opposite Galileo's, which was heliocentric. Meaning that Ptolemy believed what? Ernest, just.
I'm going to pass it to Annie.
Annie.
He thought it was geocentric?
He thought it was geocentric. Absolutely right, that the Earth was the center of the universe and not the sun. Nicely done. Go red.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, for a long time, hurricanes have been named for people. Witness Hurricane Sandy. But now, the Weather Channel is going to name the first one of these this winter Athena. Ernest, just.
Blizzard.
Blizzard, the very first big snowstorm is going to be called Athena, and then Brutus, and then Caesar. Yeah, they're staying with the Greek names. Go red.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, Archimedes thought that if something weighed more than another, it would drop at a faster rate. Not so, said this scientist who went to the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa and dropped them both and they hit the ground at the same time. Who did that? Nicholas Orem.
Galileo.
It is Galileo. Nice answer. Good comeback there. Go green.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Team's multiple choice question. Flowering plants are divided into two groups based on the number of seed leaves they have, 1 or 2. These seed leaves are called coronas, sepals, or cotyledons. Nicholas Orem.
Sepals?
Not sepals, good try. 1 or 2 seed leaves determines whether a plant belongs in one group or another. Are these seed leaves coronas, sepals, or cotyledons?
Coronas.
The one neither of you chose, cotyledons. Monocots and dicots, they're called. Go green.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade, 20 points. Team's question is as follows. In Jurassic Park, the bird-like dinosaurs, the ornithomimids that the T-Rexes were chomping on, turns out in the fossil evidence, those bird-like dinosaurs actually had feathers, not to fly, but for what? What could the feathers be used for? Ernest, just.
To protect themselves from water.
Not to protect themselves from water, no. Nicholas Orem, what do you think feathers on one of those bird-like dinosaurs could have done for them? It was not sufficient for flight.
To attract a mate?
Attract a mate, absolutely. For displays, also for brooding, if they had laid eggs. Good answer. 110, 180, go. Green. 125, excuse me, 130 you're up to.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Team's two-part answer. I need both. If you break your collarbone, and instead of it snapping out, it goes in, it could threaten to cut both your aorta and your trachea. Parts of what two body systems, respectively? Ernest, just.
I'm going to pass it to Mike.
Micah. Micah says, no, don't pass it to me.
The
respiratory.
You said which organs?
Aorta and trachea. But body systems.
Respiratory.
The respiratory and circulatory.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely right. Good. Go. Red.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams. To save a trip to the emergency room, a lot of mothers know that if something gets stuck in their baby's nose, if you put your finger over the other nostril and blow into the baby's mouth, it'll pop out. That's because the nose and the mouth are connected by what P-initialed space in the back. Karia.
Palate.
Again?
Palate.
Not palate. Good try. Good try. Not palate. What is the space, the connection between the mouth and the nose? The pharynx. The pharynx. It sounds like larynx. Go again, red. Still have the advantage. Samuel?
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Lions and tigers and pumas are all wild cats. But if a domestic cat goes wild, it's not wild. It's called by this F-initial term. It's a feral cat. A feral cat. Go again, red. We're down to the last couple questions. Samuel?
Let's get physical for 25.
Get physical for 25 points. Teams, what D-initialed inventor is responsible for the fetal heartbeats that we can see on ultrasound and the snow and the rain that appears on radar on a weather report? Doppler, like Doppler radar. Try again, red.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Big one in that category. Look at the monitor, please, in the studio. This beautiful underwater creature is called a mantis shrimp because it looks like a praying mantis. Just like the praying mantis, this shrimp, because it has segmented body parts and jointed appendages, jointed antennae, belongs to what phylum of invertebrates? For 25 points. Name the phylum for me, Nicholas Orem.
Arthropods.
Arthropods, absolutely right. Good answer. Go, green.
Dateline science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Because of tainted steroid injections, there has been an outbreak in this country of a fungal version of this disease that affects the membranes around the spinal cord and the brain. It's called fungal what? Meningitis. Meningitis. It's been in the news. Go green.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. Big one in that category. Teams. Back in 1880, Charles Darwin of evolution fame did an experiment with oat seedlings on phototropism. He was trying to find out if those little seedlings would do what? Phototropism. Trying to find out if those little seedlings would do what? Come on, Red.
I'm going to pass it to Micah.
Micah.
Bends towards the light.
Bend toward the light. Absolutely right. See, you should not have hesitated. Last question of the game, green things for 15 points, is as follows. Teams, because in death they absorb so much water, so much oxygen from the water, blooms of these very abundant water plants are causing dead zones in the Gulf of Mexico. Name those common water plants.
Algae.
Come on, Nicholas Orem.
Algae?
Algae it is. And with that, we come to the end of the game. It looks like Ernest just has done it. We'll be back with a wrap-up and a final score in just a moment. Don't go away.
I knew I needed help paying for college. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I used to make worksheets for my friends to do. No one ever wanted to come over. My guidance counselor told me about federal student aid, and my mom helped me fill out the free application. I got the grants and loans that made school possible. There is a way to pay for school. You just have to find it. My name is Caitlin. I'm going to be a special education teacher. I'm going to live my dream.
For years, scientists have explored remote corners of the Earth, searching for exotic substances that might help prevent cancer. At last, man has discovered a secret place where powerful remedies can actually be found. Medical research shows that a vegetarian diet, rich in fruits, vegetables and whole grains, can help prevent many types of cancer. Wherever you live, cancer prevention is as close as your grocery store. To learn more, call 866-906-WELL.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Great game here today. Proud of all of our players. Let's look at that tally today. Nicholas Orem, 170. Ernest Just, 230. Congratulations to the red team. Annie, you can smile now. You did a great job, Annie and Samuel and Micah. Miss Nelson, I know how proud you are. And the two alternates, Justin and Charles, could you wave to everybody, guys? And let's have a nice hand for Nicholas Orem. Great team, great game. Paul, Yukari, and Eduardo. And look at the shadow team back there. Emily, wave Emily so people know who you are. Michaela and Carlos and Abigail and Miss Hagarian, thank you so much for what you did. I know this was a new assignment for you. You did a wonderful job. We hope to see you back with all of your players. We hope to see you next time as well on another edition of Science Bowl. Bye-bye.